So, we're back in the studio once again with our resident experts on nasty plants, Richard Podmore, David Layland from Japanese Knotweed Control. Hi guys.
Hi Paul.
Today we're going to chat about particularly nasty invasive plants. This one can give you a nasty rash as well, I believe. But let's find out. Welcome to our specialists in the studio here. Guys, giant hogweed. I think everyone will have seen this one out in the woods. What does it look like, first of all?
Well, it's giant hogweed is quite distinctive by the size of the plant. As it says in the name, it's giant. It will grow up to about 4 to 5 metres in height with a very distinctive rosette flower on top of it. And it grows incredibly quickly in the late spring, early summer. It will grow from practically nothing, as I said, up to a height of about 5 metres with a very distinctive white flower on the top.
Right, okay, so that's a picture of it there. And is it native to the UK?
Certainly not, no. It was originally brought over from the Himalayas and the Far East. The Victorians travelling to all these exotic places around the world, finding these exotic plants and bringing them back over here, not knowing the issues that they're going to create in future years.
There's a theme running on nasty plants that the Victorians did a lot of damage. Is that right?
They've got a lot to answer for.
Seem to have a lot to answer for. What conditions does it like then?
Very similar to balsam, it predominantly found on watercourses. You do tend to find it also in some brownfield sites. We get seeds that are spread either from wildlife or from material that's been basically moved around.
Right. So, and why is it a baddie?
The huge problem with giant hogweed is they've got a toxic chemical inside it. So if you brush against it, the actual stem of the plant's got little hairs on the outside of it. So if you brush against it with your naked skin, then you're going to get burnt, basically. Quite horrific burns will be incurred. You get a blister first of all. And those blisters, unfortunately, last for quite a while. Quite intense pain from them. And unfortunately, it affects your skin for many, many years to come. That when you go to sunlight, you'll feel that intense burn feeling coming back through your skin as well. So it's not only just from the outside of the plant. Worst case scenario is the plant is actually hollow caned. If you snap the cane in half, you've got like a white sap that comes out of it, and that is highly toxic. So again, with things like children have got a tendency to use it as a blowpipe. They put it towards the mouth and they get burns around the mouth, the face. Yeah, it's pretty horrific. Animals also can be affected by it. If you've got a dog that goes walking through giant hogweed infestations, they can pick up bits of the actual fur from the actual plant. When you stroke the dog afterwards, you can get burns on your hands. It also burns their noses and all sensitive parts of the dog as well. So yeah, it's a highly problematic plant.
Right, sounds very bad. That do bees like it?
Well, yes, they do. As with any plant, they'll go and extract the nectar from it. But again, as similar to Himalayan balsam, it distracts the bees away from the natural flora that should be pollinating.
Right. So when do you guys get called to get rid of it? When do you normally get rid of it?
Generally, mid-spring, early summer time for us to go and actually treat it. The profile of the plant has been increased massively over the last few years because there have been several articles in newspapers. There was a young girl in Yorkshire that was very badly damaged by, again, as David said, coming into contact with the plant. And I've seen lots of pictures of dogs with noses that have been burnt as well. And obviously, vets' bills aren't exactly cheap either, so it's noted, and you may see it on the motorways. They now fence it off, so you'll see the plants actually cordoned off so you can't get near them, and a lot of councils are actually doing that now as well. Treatment wise, again, it's an early time of the year, so late spring, early summer, when we've actually got ground cover, we would actually treat that chemically. It's not something that anybody should get involved in treating themselves.
Right, so you can't dig it up or anything like that?
You can, but obviously that's a circumstance thing. If you've got it growing in an area where you want to develop, then yes, you can remove it, but I wouldn't recommend anybody goes anywhere near it without the correct PPE, right. In which case you really need to be a specialist to remove it.
So what do you do if it's kind of fully flowered? It's that time of year, you've got a great big patch of it there, you just got to cordon it off and not go near it?
Yeah, restrict access to it. If we're actually treating it, if we get brought in later in the summer to actually treat it when it's flowered, we would physically cut the flower heads off and bag them up to stop the seed bank from spreading that year, and then we would treat the following year. It's about removing the seed bank in the soil, which can take 3 to 5 years.
Right, so this one is a particularly nasty plant. And as usual, call the experts. Always the message. David Layland, Rich Podmore from Japanese Knotweed Control. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.